The Buffalo Bill Museum hosts a series of women in history events, and the next one is coming up just in time for Halloween with a sort of spooky topic. Anna Thomas is the local historian who will be leading this presentation called Beyond the Veil. Anna, welcome.
Oh, thank you for having me.
You look great.
Oh, thank you.
Tell me a little bit about the outfit that you wore today. It reminds me of almost like Salem, like the Salem witch trials.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a traditional, probably more of a higher class person during the Victorian era.
Yeah.
The women during the mourning period would have to wear black for the first stage of mourning, and then the second stage they could add white or gray accents, and then the third stage of mourning they could actually wear purple, which I find fascinating.
I do too. So many different rules, and really at this event you're going to dig into all of it. So it takes place this Sunday from 3 to 4:30. Let's dig into the topic a little bit more. This is the Victorian era, and you're focusing on mourning, funeral practices, and burial practices.
Yes.
Okay, so you have extensive knowledge in this. Like, give us a little bit of your background.
Yes, absolutely. So I have my bachelor's degree in history and art history from St. Ambrose University, and then I just received my master's degree in May from Western Illinois in Museum Studies.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Very amazing. You describe a shift in attitudes toward death and mourning during this time period that you've studied and that you'll be talking about this Sunday. So I guess what was that shift?
Yeah, absolutely. So a great example was like during the Black Death, during the medieval era, people were scared to die, and you see this shift into the Victorian era of almost like a romanticizing death and glamorizing death, which on its own is just fascinating.
It is almost like they did all of that on purpose to make it easier for people.
Yes.
So let's talk about some of the topics that you're going to be exploring. Right now we're seeing, well, you brought the coolest book with you, but post-mortem death photography was a thing.
Yes.
That is like so crazy to me. Like, when
I can't imagine why we stopped using it.
So that's something you're going to be talking about. And then what is the rural cemetery movement?
Yes, absolutely. So during the epidemics and pandemics back then, the traditional graveyard was the churchyard, the church graveyard, and those were getting overcrowded. So they actually, as the name, the rural cemetery movement, they moved to more of like a memorial park that was actually made for the living. So it usually included ponds and places to have picnics.
Very much like today.
And very glamorized memorials. That's when you see the rise in mausoleums and those really big monuments is during the Victorian era.
Wow, amazing. Tombstone symbolism is another thing that you've studied, and I feel like that's something that's carried into today.
It is. During the Victorian era, you see a lot of weeping willow trees and lambs that represent children and innocence, and then other weird symbols like grapes and let's see, hands, just different things that you'll learn about on Sunday.
Very, very interesting. And you talked a little bit about your clothing that you're wearing right now, but you also brought something with you. Is this like a headpiece?
It's actually, it would go on the door, and it's called crepe, yes. And it would tell everyone in the community that you were mourning a loved one or a family member. And traditionally, the black would be for an older person, and then if it was a younger person that died, it would be a white color just to represent your innocence and purity.
And they would put that on their door.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you brought some other things with you today. What are these?
Yes, those are lady fingers, and those were traditionally served at Victorian funerals.
These were?
Yes.
Okay. Well, people still make them today, right?
Yes,
you can get them.
I made them, and then you can also buy them at the store.
So this was a traditional thing that was served?
Yes.
And we still eat these today? That is so crazy to me to think about all that history there. Okay, so I've been waiting for this moment. Tell us about what this is.
Yes, so this is a Victorian hair wreath or memorial wreath, and it is made out of real human hair.
I cannot get over that.
It can be one person, or in this case, multiple members of the same family who died. They would start at the bottom, and then when other family members would pass away, they would add to it.
Really?
Yes.
And this is like an actual artifact that you have
Yes,
here?
from the Buffalo Bill Museum in LeClaire. We have 2 of them that we will have on display at the talk on Sunday.
That is like so crazy to me and so interesting. I can understand your fascination with all of this. I think it's super interesting as well, and I think a lot of other people will feel that way. So again, this is happening on Sunday. Very exciting. Here's all the information for you. It's October 13th from 3 to 4:30. Now, it's not at the museum. It's at Holiday Inn Express there in LeClaire, which is not too far. Tickets are $20, and that money does benefit the Buffalo Bill Museum, correct?
Yes.
So this all goes back into just all the really cool programming and events that Buffalo Bill Museum puts on every year. If you want to buy your tickets, you can just go to the museum and do that, or just search Buffalo Bill Museum on Facebook, and there will be a way to buy your tickets there. Anna, you're incredible. I love talking about this with you.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for being here.